What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about the Wonder Woman game. And I gotta say, leading into this video, I originally wanted to talk about if we should be worried about the game or not. And I have a feeling that video might eventually come. Maybe we'll do that later. But in my research for that video, I said, okay, first thing you gotta do, you gotta go to the job postings. What's going on? How many jobs they're looking to fill? And what are the qualifications for those jobs? And so I did. I went on Monolith's site, went on the jobs, and they're only hiring two different things for this game, one of which is actually an intern for next summer, so it's not necessarily as important as this first one. I click on the first one, and I look at two different elements of it, and it changes what I think the topic of this video should be. There's some good news here in terms of the Nemesis system. I have always said I think it makes a lot of sense for that to be in the game. I would almost be shocked if it wasn't in the game, and I've honestly just assumed as time has gone on. I feel like there's been like little blog post kind of things that has happened ever since the game was first announced. I think we had a very good shot of the Nemesis system being in this game. And for those that don't know what that means, sometimes that happens on the internet. It's simply the mechanic that they used for the Middle-earth games, in which the enemies are incredibly dynamic, right? They recognize each other, they recognize you, there's patterns of leadership, and there's betrayals, and some really, really cool stuff. I think it's one of the cooler systems in all of gaming, and classically, not them, I think specifically, but I believe Warner Bros. Patented it so that only they could use it. So you can't use the Nemesis system if you don't, I think anybody maybe, or maybe it's just Monolith that's allowed to use it, but, that's classic. That's classic WB for you there. But I'm very excited for that. And in the job posting, they throw it right out there. There is no way of wiggling around it or like misreading it. They talk about what you'll be doing daily at the team. And they mention several things, but they commonly, in fact, both these job postings have this. They list out, what you're going to be doing every day, and working with the Nemesis system is on both of the job postings. And they make it extremely clear that the game you're going to be working on is the Wonder Woman game. Now, I believe maybe we talked on Twitter a little while ago, there was some job postings that actually seemed to indicate they're working on two games, because they talked about more than one. It was like plural. I think I made a video. It was only 2, 3, 4 weeks ago. I made a video on it. These job postings specifically is the Wonder Woman team. You're going to be working on the Wonder Woman game. So Nemesis system, part of the Wonder Woman game. It's specifically for the Wonder Woman game. This is not talking about whatever the second game is, and that excites me. We talked about that in the past. But, okay, and maybe this will actually tie into should we be worried, or when do we get worried about this game? The next part is extremely terrifying to me, and it's simply that you don't have to have this, okay? If you're looking for a job and you're going to Monolith, you don't need to have expertise here, but they'd like you to. They want you to have experience working with live service. They want you having experience working on a live service game. And this is what I was looking for. I was specifically, it's actually kind of ironic, because you had the WB thing earlier today. We made a video earlier talking about, they want to infuse live service into basically everything. That's not a shock. They said that years ago. They've been doing it. It has scared me with Wonder Woman before. It certainly scares me now. But here's the difference. And because I've mentioned Hogwarts Legacy. Hogwarts Legacy comes out. It is a game that doesn't do live service, and you would maybe, before it comes out, be worried, because it was also kind of birthed into this phase of WB games where they want their games to have it. But maybe it was a little too early. Maybe they started working on Hogwarts just a little bit too early, so when they really started to force live service elements into games, Hogwarts, escaped that. And as I argued in that past video, I think that's for the best. I don't know why you don't look at Hogwarts as the reverse story and say, look, a game that doesn't have live service breaks records. It's the best-selling game. I think even still to this point, maybe Call of Duty beats it, but this is the best-selling, top 3 best-selling game of the entire freaking year, okay? So why don't you look at that, right? So Hogwarts is one I've always kept in my mind where it's like, well, that escaped it. For some reason, Hogwarts didn't do that. But why? We don't really know why. And for Hogwarts Legacy 2 or the next game that they make, would that be a concern? And we don't know that either. For Wonder Woman, I have thought, to kind of like settle down my fears, I have thought that it also escaped. That you look to Monolith and you say, well, look at what they did with Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War. Those are not, however, Shadow of War does have, at least it did at launch, have terrible microtransactions put in, had a huge backlash. They backtracked at it. Blame was put everywhere, right? And we all kind of moved on. The point being, they kind of escaped it. They've never done it before, but they have shown signs of like modern classic WB where if they want those microtransactions thrown in, they're going to find a way to do it, even if it upsets massively the consumer. Okay? That's where we were at. So going into Wonder Woman, I thought, well, Hogwarts escaped it. Gotham Knights seemingly reversed, right? Gotham Knights had it, clearly, but then they pulled a lot of the elements out of Gotham Knights. Suicide Squad just forgot to do that, and that's where we're at. So if Hogwarts escaped it, Gotham Knights kind of backtrack. Well, maybe Wonder Woman also escaped. And now, I know I'm going on a really long rampage here, but the thing that scares me is that part of the job posting. Now it's one thing. It's one post. It's actually not in the other one. The one that's for the intern, it's not on that one. There is nothing that you need to have a live cert. Now, but it's like it's an intern. You're coming fresh out of college. Maybe you're still in college. So would you have any experience working on anything? No. So I put that there. But it worries me that this is something that you don't need, but they would like you to have. So I need to bookmark the page, and I need to keep an eye on it, right? See any other job postings that come out, are they all mentioning it? And you know what? We've talked about job postings from the studio before, and I don't remember anything on live service, but I also may not have been paying attention to it, right? So, I mean, if you guys know, definitely let me know in the comments. I wonder if this is new, because then it wouldn't be that big of a deal, right? If it's a nice to have thing, if it's one person that they're looking for, it's well, they can't make a live service game, right? But if there were 20 jobs that had this on there and I just wasn't paying attention to that, that could be a pretty big sign. So I'm not saying, let me just make this very clear, okay? And I think you guys generally understand where I'm coming from, but I'm not saying Wonder Woman is a live service game. In fact, if Wonder Woman is a live service game, I swear to God I'll lose it. I will lose it on this channel on a video, okay? I don't think that's going to happen. And maybe I don't think it's going to happen just for my sanity, but I don't think it's going to happen. However, I do get concerned that because of what they've already said, what WB has already said years ago with live service, what they double down, they triple down on it this morning, okay? This is huge. They're going for it. You have that, and then you have this. So, should we be concerned about microtransactions or something kind of sneaky being thrown into Wonder Woman? I don't think it's wrong to. Let's say, can I say that? Is that a cop-out answer? I don't think it's wrong to get a little worried because it's not as if they're giving us all these great signs that they're not. Hogwarts is the only thing that shows us signs that they're, but was that a fluke? Because everything else doesn't show those signs. So I don't know. I really don't know what to think, but I don't want, can we just have, please, a single player? Why can't we do that for this Wonder Woman game? Come on, please. If you're not going to give us Arkham, and I don't even know if that's the right move anymore, but, if you're not going to do that, Wonder Woman, let's go. Superman game, you don't have to make them live service. You don't have to have even there should be nothing. There should be nothing. Maybe a cosmetic pack, and even that, you're kind of pushing it. Just release you can even go 70. Release a $70 game, no Game Pass, no nothing. Put the game out, and that's it. Leave it alone after that, and see how it does. Because you know what? Hogwarts Legacy did okay. It did fine, and that's a joke, by the way. It did more than that. And why can't that be replicated with Wonder? I think it could. So, yeah, that's where I'm at. I didn't think I'd make this kind of video. Like I said, I kind of just want to talk about the worries and when will we see it next. Now we're talking about a job posting that actually makes the worries more real to me, which is not ideal. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.